You're welcome to another exciting edition of Dominion Sport on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi, and I have Samson Balogun here with me this wonderful morning, the man with undiluted report and unbiased analysis. Also, I have Fola, always ready to talk sport right here on Dominion Sport. Today, we have it on the menu with local stories. We're defending champions, Remo Stars, were able to pick up all 3 points away from home against the newly promoted side, Kun Khalifat. Also, on the menu this wonderful morning, Favor of Philly is making the rounds this morning. Also, we have the world of cricket and the US Open on the menu today. Remember yesterday we started the transfer update, and right now the transfer window is closed. We'll be giving you the major transfer update that happened yesterday night, and also looking at our own players who made the move away from their club side. Also, we'll be looking at the preparation for the Super Eagles ahead of the clash against Rwanda, a must-win game ahead of the World Cup qualifications. All this and more on the show this morning. Once again, you're welcome to Dominion Sport, Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Samson, good morning to you. How are you feeling this wonderful morning?
Well, it's really nice to be here to talk sports, as we do always. We bring you biased analysis and, of course, undiluted report. So sit back, relax. There's a lot to unpack on this show. Of course, the transfer deadline was yesterday, and there was a lot of back and forth. Some transactions were able to be, finished, but some of them were actually, what we call a brick wall. Actually. But most importantly, some teams were able to snatch, their best, the best hands while the transfer was still on. So we have a lot to say, but then let the show continue.
All right. Good morning to you, Fola. How are you feeling this wonderful morning?
I'm feeling wonderful, so wonderful. With the spending and the money and everything, in fact, I feel like sneezing.
Come on.
The money.
And come on, if you're talking money, in the Premier League, the record for this year's transfer is, we're talking 3 billion. We're talking 3 billion, and that's massive spending in the Premier League. Fola.
Yeah, that's massive spending in the Premier League, and it shows that every club, they are here for business.
Yes, for business.
This season, we are not here to play. We are here. Even the littlest clubs are saying, we too, we are not little anymore. We too, we want to go up. We want to go up. We want to go up, and we want to feel relevant.
Amazing. What a way to go. All right, the sporting family. Let's start off from the local front this wonderful morning. Let's look at the game between the Remo Stars away from home against the Kun Khalifat. Samson, 2-1 the game ended. Defending champions snatching that one, having the victory right there. There you have it on the screen. Remo Stars are picking up the victory. They had to nick it through the second half to get the goal against the Kun Khalifat. For you, was it an expected victory for Remo Stars? Were you expecting it to be a victory or maybe a draw for them against Kun Khalifat?
Actually, I was expecting it to be a little bit easier than that, but the hallmark of a great team is when, even if it is difficult, you're able to bring out results. The most important thing is the maximum 3 points, which Remo Stars now have in the bag away from home. So interestingly, some of their players also got on the score sheet. Of course, Samson Lashupa was on the score sheet.
Yes, he was on the score sheet.
He's a player you would always want to see on the field of play. Right about now, he's arguably one of the best players you'll find in the Remo Stars team. So I want to believe that sometimes football has actually evolved to an extent where even the best teams they are not expected to just do a walk in and walk out and then get the results they so much require. But then I think Remo Stars right now, they are a team in transition. Reason I'm saying that is because for majority of the preseason, though some of their players were active, they were actually away from the team.
For Chad.
So they are just getting back.
Some major players also shipped out to transfer.
They had to let some players leave the team. Their long-standing captain had to leave, went to I think Iraq. Also, some other players like Victor Bauma and some others were brought on board. So it's a transitioning period for Remo Stars, and even with that, the identity of the team has not been lost.
It remains.
So at least one way or the other, they are still grinding out results, which is very important. They had to slug it out against the runners-up last season. They got a draw. Got a draw from that one, and of course, away from home, they have been able to at least get maximum 3 points, even though it is it was very slim. But then, the most important thing is getting the win.
The 3 points is a win. It's a win. Actually, the 3 points is a win. Now, quick one. Let's look at the table. Right there in the MPFL match day 2. Let's look at what the table is saying. 20 games played already in match game 2. There you have it. Bayelsa United 2 wins in 2 already, and early days for Bayelsa for you, Samson. Also, Warri Wolves 2 wins in 2. Early days for them. Also, El Kanemi Warriors, Remo Stars, Rivers United, Wiki Tourist. There you have Eyimba sitting 7th on the log table. We have Katsina United. We have Abia Warriors sitting 9th. We have Nasarawa United 10th position, and also are slugging it out relegation already. Not the battle yet, but you have Bendel Insurance 1 point, Barrow FC 1 point, Rangers International 1 point, and also Plateau United 2 games with 0 point at this point in time. Let's talk about Bayelsa United and Warri Wolves quickly. Early days in the season for you, Fola? Is it too early for them? Should we still give them the run for, let's say, in the next 10 games? Can they still churn out more results and still remain on top of the table?
Like Samson said, we cannot look down on teams. Football teams cannot be looked down on. So yes, it's still early days, but we shouldn't put them behind and say that they cannot. We're still in the early days, and it's just it's
just two games. Yes, 2 games.
But still, we shouldn't underestimate them.
These are the 2 teams with 100% record so far.
Yes.
So far in the MPL this season. But then I don't want to believe, it is still early. We have seen teams who actually hit the ground running from the day one, from the word go. So and they still are able to maintain that until the end of the season. But be that as it may, I think right about now, the MPFL actually has every now and then there's an element of surprise.
Yeah, true.
Who would have thought Kwara United would qualify for continental, games this season? True. And of course they are there, so you can't rule that out. Bayelsa United might just, when you see how they played against Shooting Stars, they played with authority. They were playing like they were at home, so they were so relaxed. And of course, there are some players who had, flashes of individual brilliance. So I want to believe that there might be a continuation of that going on in the season, only if there is a level of consistency attached to it. But if they are not consistent, they might just find themselves, somewhere worse than this on the log, which is probably mid-table or way lower than that.
Okay, there you have it, the match day 2, talking about the table right there in the MPFL this season. Trust us, we'll keep giving you a back-to-back update on the scene of the MPFL. Moving away from that, let's take stories from the world of athletics, and one woman is talking, that is Favour Philly. Yes, she's saying we can confirm that she has switched allegiance to Turkey, and she's explaining her decision to dump Nigeria. Yes, Philly confirmed the switch and explains the reason. The sprinter sensation, Favour Philly, has officially confirmed the switch of allegiance to Turkey, bringing clarity to weeks of speculation and heated debate among athletes fans. Trust me, so it's been a back and forth with Favour Philly, for some time now. I'm talking 1 month ago. Is she gonna move? Why is she not talking? She has not said anything yet. So it was just on the surface, getting the report. Favour Philly saying is the move? Is it something? But like I said, while speaking on Dominion Sport, I said we need to hear the side of Favour Philly, and now she has said so much. And yes, she's saying she went to social media saying that on Monday that the excitement for the new chapter and the reasons behind a difficult decision to part ways with Nigeria. Wrapping up a 2025 season has been a whirlwind of new experience and big decision. Philly wrote, racing back-to-back across amazing cities and learning from the best has been incredible. As some of you have heard, I am also starting a new chapter representing Turkey. The sprinter, who has been one of Nigeria's most decorated athletes in recent years, highlighted her achievement while expressing her disappointment with the treatment she received from the Nigerian Athletics Authority. I am proud to have represented Nigeria for many years in an highly successful way, winning 6 gold medals, 2 silvers and 2 bronze in championship meet, and reaching the 200-meter Olympic final, she stated. But also, I also experienced the biggest disappointment from the AFN and also the NOC, particularly the negligence shown towards me at the Tokyo and Paris Olympics. This is why I've made this decision. Ophelia emphasized that the switch was not financially motivated, but rather a step made for growth and well-being. While this means sitting out this year's championship in Tokyo, this change comes from the heart, not from financial motives. I'm truly grateful to have discovered a new home in Turkey. She further expressed her gratitude to those who stood by her. I am excited for what is ahead and grateful for the support received from the coach, agents, sponsors, and loved ones from the difficult time. Now, quick one. Now, let me just go back to a statement that she made. And a fan asked her and said, if any officials were sacked for the Olympic negligence. And she said, I replied, they are still in office. They said I was paid a compensation fee. To clarify, I got nothing from anyone, not even an apology. Now, there's a backstory to this, Samson and Fola, and I'm sure we would love to break it down for the sporting family. In Olympics, we saw that her name was omitted from the list. And we saw the tears from Favour. She was worried, she was crying, we're expecting something. They didn't even come out to say anything. And for Favour to say she didn't get a compensation, not an apology, and she said she's still going to be with Nigeria. Now, we got the report back and forth about, this Turkey move today, Turkey move tomorrow. We didn't get a clarification on that. Now, Favour is talking, and yesterday, we were here when we gave out the list of the athletes going into, to represent Nigeria in Tokyo right there, and her name was omitted. Boom, here we are right now. Favour speaking up and saying, I think right now this Turkey move is true. Yeah, I am representing Turkey. Looking at all these things, the AFN, the NOC, going back to Olympics. I know something, you are one man that when you look at situations like this, you wonder. You made a statement last week. You said head should be rolling when things like this happen. Come and talk to me, Samson, quickly, and also I'm going to hear from Fola.
You see, it's actually funny how we have decided to glorify mediocrity in Africa. It's something that we have always done. Someone would fail at what he has been employed to do, and then we still glorify that person for doing nothing. I think that is the order of the day in Africa. Nigeria, for example, has to be the champion of that. The joy of an athlete that has prepared for 1 year is to be there at the forefront of things.
You're talking 1 year.
Yeah, that was what it takes.
That's what it takes to prepare.
To prepare. If you truly know what exactly you are doing as an athlete, you have to be at least 1 year because Olympics don't come on a yearly basis, but at least a year to the Olympics, you are there on the track trying to do everything humanly possible to body, spirit, and soul. You are ready.
Come on.
And now you put your mind to it. You take your mind away of everything that happens, even your children, your family at that time. They really do not matter because you have a competition ahead, even though they matter. But at least there's a way you partition your mind that you give your all to the sport that brings food to your table. So that's why it is most times painful to these athletes when they are not treated the right way. She made a statement that it's not really about the money this time around. It's about how I feel as a person how I'm being treated by the Nigerian Athletics Federation as human. So it's really a disaster that is waiting to happen. I foresee that not just Favour, so many athletes would want to jump ship and then represent other countries. Do not forget that
we have Nigerians. We have
athletes representing. Urugu used to represent the UK, and so many other athletes like that who chose to represent other countries. So if we want to mention names, in fact, it will take us a whole day.
Trust me.
The truth is, talents abound in Nigeria. Both those who reside in Nigeria and those who reside outside the shores of the country. So no doubt Nigeria has talent, but can we manage them? I would say no, because oftentimes we have seen these loopholes, we have seen these errors being committed, and in a case like this, there's no margin for error. You can't afford to make these mistakes and give flimsy excuses for them.
Now we're talking omission of name.
Someone has tried so much to qualify for a competition, and then when names are being tendered, their name is not there. So now,
so many for us.
I want to believe that was not a mistake. It was a deliberate attempt to decimate her, and of course make sure that she doesn't represent Nigeria at that competition. If that happens, this is a national issue. is a disastrous case that needs to be treated as such.
The Minister of Sport should be involved.
We have the chairman of the Athletics Federation.
Yes, the AFN.
AFN.
Yeah.
They have not said anything. There is, you know,
NOC.
NOC. They have not said anything. Minister for Youth and Sports. Nobody has said anything. Except to the president on sport. Has said nothing. Now, the question is, do we really know what we are doing as Africans? I would say no. Because you will not see that happen in the UK. I will cite an instance before I go back to what I'm talking about. It is only in Africa that a player that has been suspended for the next game is fielded by a team, and they will say it was an oversight. I mean, do you even keep records? I will say no. It is only in Africa that you will know that you know, this particular player is injured, and then you still find that name on the team sheet. Is that a mistake? I will say no. Someone should get fired. Someone should be sacked for making such silly mistake. I mean, if the most basic of you know, information is skipped, then it can be as disastrous as anything you can think of. Now, she has decided to actually leave the country, leave Nigeria, and represent Turkey. What does that mean for a country like Nigeria? If she had started representing Turkey from the word go, it wouldn't have, you know, been a big issue. It has always happened. We have seen African, you know, athletes, footballers representing other countries. It's not a problem. But midlife changes, where she says, at this point, in fact, this will be at her age now, this is the peak of her career. And she's taking that momentum to represent Turkey and not Nigeria. So who's to be blamed? I think everyone I have mentioned now should be resigning. Because it's a flaw.
True. If you're in a working country, they should be resigning.
They should be resigning. Yes. And unfortunately, in Africa, we don't resign. We only patch errors, we patch mistakes, and we patch mediocrity to make it. In fact, we do makeover for mistakes,
and they get promotion.
Definitely.
Now, the challenge is going forward. What will happen? Athletes who are still developing will see Nigeria as a nation that is not serious. At every given opportunity they get to represent other, even as close as Ghana, Togo, Benin Republic, they would want to represent them because they feel Nigeria is not a serious country. We have seen situations where Nigerian athletes wants to represent Nigeria, and then someone says, if you don't bring money, you can be on the ship. That was what happened to Emmanuel Adebayo, who eventually represented Togo. Abdulrazak Omotoyosi, who passed away not long ago, represented Benin Republic. I don't want to mention, if I start mentioning names, you realize that so many talents that could have made, you know, a formidable Super Eagles team decided to spread across Africa to represent other African countries. Nigerians went ahead as far as representing francophone countries, and not just anglophone, francophone countries. So it tells you how much they just want to be outside the shores of the country. I just want to be out there. I don't want to play for Nigeria. And then, what does it cost you to do the right thing? I say nothing. Because that's your job. That's what you are being employed to. And at this time, if no one is getting sacked because of what has happened to favor of Fili, I am of the opinion, I'm not a pessimist, but I'm of the opinion that more is to come. So many other athletes will see an opportunity. Do you think they are not wooing what's her name? Toby Amoson already? No, she has just decided to stay with Nigeria because she felt like, this man. So are you saying, with what she has seen, with favor of Fili, she wouldn't think about it? She would.
She would, come on.
Because what is your faith after you are done?
Right.
When you can no longer compete at the highest level. What will be your position?
Come on. Honestly speaking, we can go on to talk about situations like this. For you, right now, Favour Fili is going to be representing Turkey. Like Samson said, more is to come if heads are not being rolled off. The cabinet of these bodies, ensuring that we have our athlete in good shape and also representing us in good form right there across the world. What's the best solution that we need to do going forward for our athletes, in Nigeria?
We have to have a better management team. A management group that would definitely not let another athlete feel left out.
Left out, yeah.
Feel inferior because she felt inferior. Like, okay, is it that what I've done for Nigeria isn't enough?
Yeah.
Definitely, it's not enough. Let me jump ship. You know, it's sad because now she's at the peak. Like Samson said, she's at the peak of her career. Yeah. She could have been doing so much for us.
Yeah, true.
And now she's going to do so much for Turkey.
A developed country that has facilities that will put in good shape.
Exactly.
We're talking.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly.
Come on.
If it is that she wants to go to the gym in Turkey,
definitely
it won't be too hard. I want to go to the gym.
Go to the gym. Easy access.
It's easy access. Not in Nigeria that she would actually have to be the one paying.
You
understand? So definitely, I don't. Now that she has gone to Turkey, Nigeria has lost so much. And what Nigeria has to do way forward is management. We have to have a management group that would definitely say, okay, Tobi Amusan, what do you need now? We need a team that will say, Tobi Amusan, what do you need?
One athlete, what do you need at this point?
What do you need?
Come on.
Okay, we are ready to do it for you. Is it that you want to have your vitals checked? Okay, we'll do it free of charge. It's not too hard for Nigeria to do.
It's not too hard. You know, the funny thing is that I know that they know the basic things, you know, of what to do.
They just don't want to do it because they know if they do it, they'll spend money.
Yeah, and the money is made available. But come on, we can go on and on to discuss situations like this, but it is what it is, and we hope for the very best for Favour Ofili, you know, as she sojourn into the next journey for her 7-year career. Moving away from that, let's talk cricket at this point in time. Yes, where the Nigerian senior female cricket team at the female Yellow Greens on Monday failed to sustain their winning attitude as they lost also second match to Namibia by 8 wickets. The Nigerian girls elected to bat first, but crumbled under superior bowling force led by Salima right there, who took 3 of the Nigeria's biggest batters away from that. Yes, Nigeria managed to score a paltry 70 runs out of possible 120 runs, and Namibia bowlers took the shine of Petty Lucky, and also Musa and Captain Pecula are also having that one. Nigeria started the second inning on a promising note while they had that one winning 30 balls, 2 wickets in just 9.5 overs. There you have it right there in the world of cricket. We hope that the girls can later bounce, but the next challenge would be against Zimbabwe, as Zimbabwe tops Group A with 4 points, while Nigeria seated second with 2 points after 2 games. Moving away from that, right about now, let's take updates from the US Open, where we have those results popping up yesterday. There you have it. Naomi Osaka, she's going to face that one, Machova, in the quarterfinals. She knocked out Coco Gauff, world number 3, at 6-3, 6-2. Wonderful victory. Naomi Osaka is getting back to her best form right there. World number 23, Coco Gauff out of that one. Also, there you have Muchova also getting that one through 6-3, 7-6, 6-3. You know, the second set was quite difficult for her, but she had to maneuver her way through the third set to see that one through. Also, there you have Iga Swiatek against Alex Drova, having that one 6-3, 6-1. Total domination of that one in round 4 to see her through to the next round. Also, Andrei Rublev, you know, is out, and Felix is getting that one 7-5, 6-3, 6-4, set 3 to see that one through into the next round for himself. Massive victory for Alex, and you know, that's the update coming through from the US Open. For that, quickly.
World number 1, Sina.
Come on.
You know, it's when I was watching the game and Sina, I was like, Sina, I thought 2 weeks ago they said you were ill. No, this is not somebody that was ill. No, because it was total domination. Straight set. And he has just lost 3 games in everything he has. He wasn't ill. He was just relaxing.
It's why you're defending. That's why you're a defending champion.
And that's why you're world number 1.
You must show yourself. You must show yourself out there. All right, moving away from the US Open right about now, we're taking the world of transfer. But before the world of transfer, let's look at the table quickly. Right now, international another break upon us. Samson Balogun, yes, the man with on-bias analysis, the Premier League match week 3. This is the table. Liverpool are topping with 9 points. Chelsea with 7 points. Arsenal, Spurs, looking like the Spurs that we know. Because how do you go on to beat Manchester City and you lose to, Bournemouth and having 17 shots on target, and you played woefully on your own front. Also, Everton, Jack Grealish is looking like a man in form at this point in time. Yes, sir. You know something? Alan posted something. He said Jack De Bruyne. He was trying to maybe bring back De Bruyne, but it was like Jack De Bruyne. I'm like, nice, 4 assists already in 2 games right there. Sunderland also topping. There you have Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Manchester United, Nottingham Forest. For you, quick one, Samson. Wolverhampton Wanderers, you surprised in Aston Villa. 1 point, 0 point for you, Samson, quickly.
I think the surprise of the season is the fact that all the 3 teams in the relegations were actually teams that on a good day will be mid-table teams in the EPL.
Yes.
But as it stands, Fulham, I don't think they lost any of their major players. Aston Villa too, I don't think they lost any of their major players. Even Wolverhampton Wanderers, except for Konya that went to Manchester United. I don't think that is enough to be in this position. But I think the season is just too early. 3 games played already. We have seen teams rejuvenated and reinvigorated. But come on,
Samson, you just said here that when you start well, you do well. You just said it in the MPFL now, looking at the table. Here you are saying, it's just 3 weeks.
You see, you do not compare the EPL and the MPFL. There are 2 different leagues entirely. And
come on.
There are 2 different leagues.
I'm
not even talking about the quality of play.
Come on.
I'm not talking
about
quality of
anything
all
day.
Investment.
Yeah, come on.
But the truth is, you do not compare the MPFL and the NPL. There are 2 different leagues, and the narrative there, is too different. And the enabling environments for players to thrive, I think they are different too. The quality of players you would have in the leagues too, they are different. So when you look at how teams are being financed, they are different. So at Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think one of the things that they have found difficult this season is that it's not like they do not play, but they have been unable to convert their chances. And unfortunately for them, they got a Nigerian striker who was doing well in Belgium, Tolu Arukodare, who has joined the team. I do hope that it will inject a level of consistency for them in front of goal. And once that is done, I think there will really be a menace. Wolverhampton Wanderers, regardless of if Konya is there, I think there was a time they had Raul Jimenez, there was a time they had João Neves, João Moutinho. They have always had quality players who would leave.
Wonderful Portuguese club side, wonderful.
I think at the point Pedro Neto too was a member
Pedro
of the team.
Neto, Ruben Neves.
They have always had quality players who would in turn eventually lead the team. So, and that has not stopped them from being a menace, to big teams in the EPL. So that will still be the same case right now. They have a striker now, and I know they also left for Manchester City. So they lost a few players,
key players.
But I think they have been able to make some signings. Just that maybe the team has not been able to blend, or the coach is still trying to see what his winning formula is. But going forward, I think there will be changes. And I don't think Wolverhampton Wanderers will end the season this way.
And for you, quick one, Liverpool, you think the fight is still on to defend the championship for now?
Yeah, I think so. Because when you look at the Liverpool team, they're quite a mature team. Because when you look at the game against Arsenal, and you see their style of play, you look like, okay, these guys are mature. They're actually, in my opinion, they were teaching Arsenal players okay, you can finish, you can score goals, but you cannot create. We will show you how to create it and score the goal and defend the goal.
You see, there is something different about this Liverpool team. I think Ancelotti should be given his flowers. He came in last season, decided not to touch, the framework. And then we just went ahead with the flow and won the league. And then this season, while doing that, he was trying to bring about his own style of play. A little bit, there were a little bit of change, probably 20 or 25% of changes in how Liverpool played last season.
True. So and that happened towards the end of the season.
Towards the end of the season.
I saw that.
So now, this new season, even after he won the league, you would have thought, Liverpool would relax a little bit. But then, all of a sudden, they were world-class players were coming in. Alexander Isak for around 30 million euros.
Yeah.
And of course,
Ekitike
also coming on. Florian Wies coming to shore up the midfield. Kekes at left back. Of course, Frimpong at right back. Making strategic replacements and, of course, getting players to fill up some positions. Even when Florian Wies was not there, they had quality midfield.
Yeah, true.
That's when you talk about Wataruendo, who is not even getting the right game
right.
time.
He's not getting get them.
And he's in the team.
Yeah, you talk about Avi Elliott,
they lost Jota, but still they were able to replace him.
See, they are quality players in that team. Even if remove the players they just got, these are quality. They would even have fought for the league again. But then you realize the fact that no, we don't want to do it the way we did last season. I want to bring up my own style of play. These are the kind of players I want in my team, and they brought them, and he has been able to ease them in the team, into the team one way or the other. I think we underrate Ancelotti too much, and we should give him his flowers.
So finally,
he's a humble person. That's why he's humble.
So finally, before we move on to the next log table, Arsenal for you, are they still title challengers? You know, it's match week 3. I get that, but you know, looking at what they have done, you know, the first 3 games, are they looking like title challengers?
I think Arsenal for far too long they have masqueraded themselves as you know, challengers in the EPL. But in the real sense of it, they are not. They just play like challengers, but then when it matters most, they falter. So it's a problem, and I do hope that another team gives them, you know, that challenge. Maybe Chelsea, one way or the other. If Chelsea steps off the game a little bit, probably Arsenal will see reasons why they can't just continue to play behind Liverpool and Manchester City. I mean, if Liverpool could overtake Arsenal to move to that position where they won the league last season, I don't think Arsenal should still be challengers. They should be league winners by now. And that's why I'm saying I'm not seeing that seriousness.
Okay, let's move away from that quickly because we're going to take transfer updates shortly. Let's see more log table popping up right on the screen. Yes, so there you have it. Also, we have the French Ligue 1. Also, we have the German Bundesliga. Remember, is the match. We're on international break right there, and all players are called up for the national team. Will be representing their national team right there in international competition. Also, Napoli, yes, with 6 points. Old Ladies of Turin, Juventus, Cremonese, shockingly are sitting on the log table with a 6 point. Also 2 wins and 2. We have Roma, we have Udinese, we have Inter Milan, we have Lazio Milan right there. Como also, Bologna, Atalanta, you know, Fiorentina, Cagliari, Pizza, Girona right there, Parma. Let's move away from the Serie A. Let's look at yesterday. You have it also. The Spanish La Liga. Thank you so much. We have Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao, Villarreal, FC Barcelona. Now, quick one. Barcelona eye-line displayed. Are they going to have problem this season? Trust me, Samson, I watched their last game and I was excited for Chelsea fans, you know, looking at the Champions League, and I'm like, what? This eye-line? It is what it is. It is.
Look at,
honestly speaking, it's just that the team could not just convert the chances. Like, they understood how to play the eye-line better. You know, if you carry your hand too much, you know you're already offside. So they were running like this. So they understood where to put the hand behind, how to run. Come on, Samson, talk to me about FC Barcelona quickly, then we'll move to transfer.
I think Barcelona are being too careful, and you know, it will be their problem this season. They are focusing more on the rules than the game. And that's the challenge you would face, you know, when you find yourself in this kind of situation. Look at Real Madrid. They were you know, they were focused more on the game, but then you know, when you focus more on the game, you are going to break some rules, and then when you break rules, you are still going to make amends. Take, for example, in their last game, Real Madrid, in their last game, Kylian Mbappe scored about 3 goals that was disallowed. But they kept scoring. But eventually they want 2 goals to 1. All that matters is the 3 points.
Come on.
It doesn't matter if you win 7-0. You get all your 3 points. And that's what they are doing. And there's something you know, amazing about how Real Madrid played this season. They really do not rely on the big names in the team. They have, you know, so many players in the team.
Funny how the young guys are starting now.
That's what I'm driving out. Adagula is a mainstay in that team. From the word go, he trusted these players, the young players in the team.
Tono is starting.
He's in the team. So, I mean, we have had, this season, there has been times where Vini Jr. has to be on the bench.
Yeah, true.
Kylian Mbappe, at some point, you know, what he's trying to drive at is the way he played at Bayer Leverkusen. that there was no superstar in the team. The likes of Victor Boniface, Patrick Schick had their own fair share of game time. So it's not like oh, you are the best player in my team, and then when you have issues, then the team falters. No. So everyone contributes in one way or the other, and that's going to be the golden rule with which Real Madrid can actually stay consistent this season. But for Barcelona, I think they are going to have some challenges when it comes to recruitment in the transfer window. They didn't make some changes to the team like that. See, compare that team to that of Liverpool. Liverpool won the league, but yet they invested. Barcelona won the league, but they thought, oh, the La Masia boys will do it. But football has evolved to a stage where even if you produce the best players in the world, you are still going to buy players to complement what you already have. But they are missing the point. Even when the likes of Ronaldinho, Xavi Hernandez, Andres Iniesta, Gerard Piqué, even these are quality players. Even Victor Valdes was still there at the time. They were still buying players to join the team. That was when they were getting players like Thierry Henry, Samuel Eto'o. And they were winning the league because they were bringing in external forces to reinforce. But now they were relying too much. They are relying too much on the likes of Gavi, Pedri, and these are young players. And when the real challenge comes, these players will fade away. They are relying too much on Lamine Yamal. What if he gets injured? Yes, he has done so well so far this season. He has had assists and goals, and he's even saying this is not his best. He can do more. But what if your best is to be on the bench while injured? So what happens to the team? So that is why recruitment is key. You don't have to buy too much players, but at least if you buy 2 quality players that comes in and then makes some changes, you know that you have players to rely on if some players are injured. But that's where the failure comes from. Yes, they have not done too badly. 7 points out of possible 9. That's still a good figure. But going forward in the league, what if you play against stubborn teams like Sevilla, Girona, Levante, that will always give you problems? So what will happen to you as a team? I don't think Barcelona are a serious team this season, even though they are going to claim the scalps of some serious teams in the La Liga. But when they play against teams that really mean business, like Athletic Bilbao, who would always give any team a run for their money, Espanyol, Getafe, Elche, these are teams that will always give you problems. When you face them, what will happen?
All right, what will happen is the case for Hansi Flick to answer right there when they resume back to action in the Spanish La Liga. Yes, as Samson said, you have to reinforce to enforce. Don't leave me.
Word.
All right, let's head straight to transfer. Yes, a quick one. Let's head straight to transfer quickly because of our time. Let's look at the transfer window. Yes, has come to an end right there. But quick one, guys. Yes, we have some pictures. Yes, this deadline transfer, massive. Samson, do you remember this transfer?
Absolutely.
Deadline. When you look at deadline transfer window in the Premier League, you'll be like, what is happening? Why is it happening on deadline day? Then you have Wayne Rooney, all the way from Everton down to Manchester United, and a massive one. So whatever picture you're seeing now, when you look at those players, you'll be like, these players did something fantastic. Then you have Rooney. Okay, let's take more pictures quickly. You have Rooney, you have Luis Suarez, massive one. But that's sad that he did not have the Premier League. Painful one. Fantastic. Mesut Ozil, wonderful signing. Good investment, actually. Also, let's get more pictures.
Fernando Torres,
for you?
From Liverpool.
Wonderful signing?
I mean, yes, it was a wonderful signing. And I want to believe, people actually think Fernando Torres was a flop at Chelsea.
No, actually.
No, he wasn't.
Actually.
Because he paid back in full.
No, true.
Delivering that goal against FC Barcelona,
yes,
was enough to cancel the 50 million transfer. I mean, that was enough.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Let's get more.
Enzo
Fernandez, massive buy, fantastic captain for Chelsea this season and doing great things for that. Now, quick one. Let's head straight down to the deadline transfer that happened yesterday. Young Wissa to Newcastle. Quick one. So once we're having the pictures, we'll be talking about that shortly. Young Wissa to Newcastle. So hold on. Now let's get back to Young Wissa quickly. For you, Samson and Fola, wonderful buy for Newcastle?
Yes, absolutely. They needed the replacement for Isak, and then Young Wissa is one of the players you would underrate, but then he churns out the goal for Brentford. At Newcastle, I mean, the fact that he played with Bryan Mbeumo at Brentford, people really did not see too much of Young sad. But now that you know he's going to be leading the line for Newcastle, he's the go-to man for Newcastle United at this time. I think we will see more of Yan Wissa.
Okay, yes, a quick one also. The goalkeeper signed from Manchester United's St. Mames for you. Wonderful goalkeeper.
Well,
or you would have preferred Martinez.
I would have preferred anybody, but right now, Manchester United is just, you know, I feel they're being a smart team. I feel they're being a smart team. You know, we need a good goalkeeper. And we tried to get one. Okay. Hopefully it's going to man.
So you need a goalkeeper, and this was the option.
Well, no.
Let's talk now.
I think
I'm not putting you in the middle, Samson.
I think Man United will eventually head down the road where Chelsea is currently is. Since Peter Cech left, Chelsea has not been able to replace him. And when you look at, they have actually bought about 4 or 5 goalkeepers since Cech left. Slonina is one of them. Even this Sanchez is one of them, and the host of other goalkeepers. And then you begin to ask Petrovic was also there. You ask yourself, having paid so much for goalkeepers, is Sanchez the solution to Chelsea's problem? Because oftentimes he will be so good, and then there will be a time you will be like,
he will just decide. He will just decide when he wants to decide.
During that time, Benjamin Mendy was Chelsea's goalkeeper.
There are times when a team buys a player, and people are like, is he the solution for the player that left? And he's actually the solution. And there are sometimes we buy a team into the a player into the team, and at times are like, oh, he's the solution. And at the end of the day, it's a waste of money. So we cannot actually say, okay,
for me, I would have preferred Dibu Martinez.
No, I would have preferred him, but at the end of the day, this is the person
because he's more experienced. He has been in the EPL for a long time, and of course, his stature in goal commands respect. But then, this guy will eventually, line up behind, Andre Onana, because he will still have to learn the ropes in the EPL. Look at what is happening to Manchester City as you speak. Manchester City decided to put Ederson on the bench. But then they have been using, I think, James Trafford, and he has not really lived up to expectation. I mean, the gap is wide.
It's the pressure.
And that's exactly what will happen to him.
If something can call a player this guy, we hope that this guy won't be a flop. Let's take for transfer. Yes, Kolomwani also on loan right there to Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur having great buys. Quick one, let's keep moving. So yes, Nkapie also Arsenal getting the Raider, getting the guns in blazing, and we hope that he can churn out a result for them. Let's move on. More transfer update. This Maguire and Samson as that.
I think I really feel sorry for this.
I feel really sorry for him. Actually, but now quick one. The manager of Crystal Palace made a statement saying, I didn't want this guy to leave. So it looks like a 50-50 chance. So if this, so there was a deal on the table for a defender from Brighton of Albion, Igor, trying to make that move, but that move collapsed, and immediately medical done already, cancelled the deal. Come on.
I mean, I really feel sorry for him. I think nobody, should be put in the position where their lives, what happens to them, depends solely on what someone else is. I mean, that's really sad. But unfortunately, his dream move to Liverpool had to collapse. When you leave Chelsea for a team like Crystal Palace to make a statement, and you eventually get the opportunity to play for another big team, I think this should not be your fate. But unfortunately, Crystal Palace, they needed a player to replace him. But they could not secure. I'm not, I cannot blame Crystal Palace too. They have been showing signs of brilliance this season that they really want to be up there.
Even after losing key players.
They know exactly what it brings to the table. So they don't want to lose a player of his stature in that team just when they need him. They might still make the move in January when there will be enough time for Crystal Palace to secure a perfect replacement for him.
All right, more update. Now, quick one. If my producer can help me with Victor Boniface, Samuel Chukwueze, Tolu Aroko, so we can speak on the Nigerian move quickly. Yes, so we have Victor Boniface on loan to Werder Bremen, and after that deal was signed, we saw Victor Boniface playing video games. Straight up, Also, Samuel Chukwueze to Fulham on loan. I don't know why I'm not comfortable with that deal because you know the player they got for Fulham was they got Kelvin from Shakhtar Donetsk right there, and you know it looks like Samuel Chukwueze is still going to play. It's still going to be coming off from the bench the way he did against AC Milan. So that deal, I don't know why I'm not sitting. I'm not going to do a Arokodare. Quick one for that before something picks up. Tolu Arokodare, Victor Boniface to Werder Bremen, and you have Samuel Chukwueze playing in the Premier League at Fulham. Quickly.
Boniface was making a statement that now that I'm there, it's comfort. Bye-bye to all of you.
Okay.
And
Tolu. Yes. To Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Well, coming up, is he the one you're saying is going to be coming off of the bench?
No. That's Samuel Chukwueze. That's Samuel Chukwueze. Yeah.
Samuel Chukwueze.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was just making a statement of, I want to better my career, and I feel going to this other team is going to...
It's going to be...
I want to make an effort to my career. My career is ending. Well, not ending, but I'm getting older. I have to do something to my... And if this team are offering something better, let me just take it.
All right, for you, something quick one.
I think a summary of you know, the transfer for Nigerian players, you know, in Europe. I think Samuel Chukwueze has been, you know, at AC Milan for some time, just wants a change. So thinks Fulham will be the easiest spot for him to actually make the difference. And when you look at that Fulham team as we speak, actually they need a player who can play on the right wing, and of course cutting. And Chukwueze fits that bill. So he might just, you know, not be a bench warmer. He might just, you know, get to be in the first team. Tolu Arokodare actually needed a change. He has been in Belgium for some time, and of course, EPL is a big break for him. At least playing 1 year, 2 years in the EPL will actually expose him to so many things. Of course, to be able to up his game, he's still quite young as a football player. So it's a fantastic move for Tolu Arokodare. And of course, if you look at Victor Boniface, one would have thought that at this point, when you know his coach Erik ten Hag was sacked, he would actually, you know, stay back at Bayer Leverkusen and maybe you know, prove a point. But I think at this time he just felt totally tired of the team as a whole and wants a different team. And it's a good start for him to join Werder Bremen. Werder Bremen, if not for the, you know, the downturn of what we will call how do we put it? They just had bad luck in the last 4 or 5 years that made them, they got relegated and came back. Werder Bremen was a Champions League team. They were playing Champions League football back to back. And I think that spirit is still there. You see their fans, they are always passionate about the game. I don't think there is a place in the world where they watch football more than they do in Germany. And Werder Bremen ranks amongst the teams with the highest number of fans in the German Bundesliga. So I want to believe that it's going to be a proper move for him. And it's going to be a mainstay in the team, a regular in the team. So Nigerian players across Europe, their transfer, well, you would want to say that Nigerian players really do not make the biggest moves you would expect. But at least as long as they are happy, as long as they are regulars in their team, they play week in, week out. I think that is all that matters for the Super Eagles. So when you are selecting players, you know this player is a constant, they play constantly for the team, and that's good. So I want to believe it has been a season, a busy season for Nigerians. They are always looking in the transfer to see who moves where, when. But at least all that is sorted and transfer, at least in the EPL, has ended. But Turkey, I think
we still have Turkey and Saudi Arabia.
Still very much open. All right. Even as that to Oshuala to make a change.
Make a change, All right. All this and more. Jackson also making a move. Sancho also making a move to Aston Villa on loan. We have Manon Solomon to Villarreal. We have Nicolas Jackson to Bayern Munich on loan. Also, Sofian Amrabat also making a move right there to Real Betis, and late transfer update. There you have Nicolas Jackson to Bayern. Also, we have Anthony. Yes, Sofian Amrabat also done and dusted, joining Anthony, finally making a move right here to Real Betis. Also, Alexander Isak, Zinchenko, making a move right here to Nottingham Forest. Alexander Isak also making a million move right right there to Liverpool. Also, Tyreek George also nearly making a move to Fulham, but that collapsed. There you have Ben Chilwell making a move to sister club of Chelsea, Strasbourg, right there in the French League. And also, Rasmus Højlund finally making a loan move to Napoli, right there. There you have it. Also, we have Gundogan. Yes, Samuel Chukwueze also making a move to Fulham. All this and more transfer update. Yes, Ilkay Gundogan to Galatasaray. We can take much on the show this wonderful morning, but that's all we can take. Quick one, let me say a big thank you to everybody always joining us on Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television. But please make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you follow, and make sure you drop your comment on the show. We're going to be here again tomorrow at same time, same channel. Don't leave it. Make sure you follow. Samson, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Follow.
It was fun today.
Great time. All right, yes, sir. Tomorrow is going to be an exciting time. Remember, we'll be talking about the Super Eagles tomorrow, their journey against Rwanda. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed.